carrying 4 people on his back. That scene was like a pile of people going by, but all the people around could not see it because there are 4 ghosts. Only our protagonist, Saman, can see. He could do nothing but to show a mournful face. The film is about the male protagonist who is poor, jobless. He felt desperate many times. He tried to suicide but failed. Waking up in the hospital, he saw something weird. Beside the bed he was lying on, a big guy was smoking. No smoking in the hospital, right? Then, the nurse took the cigarette of Saman away and also criticized him. After that, he was moved to the hospital's neurology department. While the doctor was diagnosing his condition, he could hear a woman's cry somewhere. It seemed to come from the doctor's wardrobe. Saman came and opened the door. There was a girl crying in there. He immediately scolded the doctor. The doctor felt weird. He looked over again. The wardrobe was empty. He thought his mental problem was serious and took him to a room for cure. At night, at the room, the 3rd ghost appeared. An old pervert ghost had a habit of seeing women's ass. His head suddenly became bigger, which scared Saman to death. He ran back to the room and closed the door. He breathed deeply and looked above and saw 3 ghosts in the air. Saman fainted. The next day he woke up and saw small ghosts dancing. Next, a cigarette-addicted ghost, an old pervert ghost, a crying female ghost, and a naughty small ghost. Stick to him. He was desperate, so he came to the powwow. The powwow said ghosts appeared around him because they wanted to help him fulfill his dreams. Saman prepared some wine and drank with the old ghost. Next, he prepared foods for the small ghost and ate greedily with him. The addicted ghost also had a lavish meal. The crying female ghost was the most troublesome. Sangman, a mature man, then had to cry with her like a baby. That made his aunts cry too. All happened again and again that weakened Saman. Furthermore, dark air around him was too heavy. Although it was summer, his room froze and very cold. Saman used his finger to wipe the wall. The ice wall made him lose a large patch of skin. Finally, Sangman went to find the powwow again. What he wanted was how to get rid of them. The powwow said there was no way to do that. He needed to help them do what they want, so they could set their mind and leave. Sangman asked them, what did they still wish for when they were still alive? The old ghost revealed his wish. He wanted to find his old camera. Saman looked for it everywhere and finally found it. He gave it back to the old ghost. Unexpectedly, Sangman met his lifelong woman, a very beautiful nurse. Sangman fell in love with her at first sight, but he didn't dare to talk to her. At that moment, the old ghost was beside him. He helped him have a talk with a woman, but he showed off too much. That made Sangman fail. The old ghost ruined his talk, which made him angry. When they left, Sangman fulfilled the small kid's wishes. He wanted to watch cartoons, eat fried noodles, play darts. Unexpectedly, he won a huge prize. It was a giant fish-shaped candy. Next came the addicted ghost. He wanted a car. Sangman broke the parking space's gate and then fulfilled the wish. This old man was happy like a kid. He took Sangman to a seashore. At the sand, they had a long conversation. The man said he used to have a happy family. Sangman looked at him respectfully. Maybe because he was a child without parents. Since small, he didn't feel love from family. That old man suddenly took off his clothes. He wanted Sangman to swim with him. Sangman panicked. He couldn't swim. The man laughed. He told Sangman no need to worry. It's okay. I swim with you. Sangman didn't want to, but the man pulled him to the sea. At first he felt nervous, but after being instructed, Sangman gradually relaxed and he could swim then. On the way home, he discovered that the 4 ghosts surrounding him day by day, although brought lots of troubles, made him feel happy many times. Last was the crying female ghost. She wanted to cook for her lover, but she couldn't tell who that was. Sangman suggested that, how about cooking for me? She was very happy, but she wanted to invite another person. That was Sangman's crush. Sangman took her to the hospital. They met the nurse's father, but the nurse's attitude towards her father seemed not good. Sangman wanted to advise her, but he didn't know she was left by her father. That made her hate him much. Sangman even drove her mad. Sangman was criticized seriously by the nurse, which made him upset. He threw away all the furniture in the room. The room was empty. The 4 ghosts felt worried about him, but didn't know what to do. The crying ghost hid in the wardrobe and cried loudly. Sangman consoled her and took her to buy some food. Then he cooked a lavish meal. At the moment, The nurse came to apologize to Sangman. Sangman invited her to the meal. The nurse felt very strange. There was only him and her, but Sangman cooked a table of food. There were 4 other guests, but only Sangman could see them. The nurse couldn't. Until then, the nurse believed that Sangman could see ghosts and even talk to them. Every day she faced lots of death, but she didn't think one day she would meet a person like Sangman. She left, which upset Sangman. He told the 4 ghosts to leave. He didn't want them to bother him anymore. The next day he woke up and saw that they really left his house. Sitting in an empty room, Sangman felt alone and desperate. He wanted to do suicide one more time. In the most dangerous moment, Sangman recalled the memories with a nurse. He somehow couldn't give up. The nurse looked up and saw Sangman coming with a bag of food. Without those ghosts, finally they can stay with each other. The nurse accepted Sangman's confession. She asked, "Normally these dishes use bina vegetables. Why do you use celery leaves?" Sangman said his mother once said celery was good for the blood. Then he was stunned. His childhood appeared in front of his eyes. Sangman stood behind his mother. A familiar face showed up. It turned out the crying female ghost was his dead mother. Then he realized their wishes, which seemed meaningless, helped him to recall his memories. The old ghost gave him the camera because it recorded the good old days of his family. His grandpa loved taking photos. The man who always happily took everyone to travel was his beloved father. The naughty ghost who wanted to go to the movie was to keep the promise with his brother. He was a brother that loved Sangman the most. That year, the accident killed everyone in Sangman's family, but actually, they had never left. They secretly took care of him. They even drank a barrel of water to stop Sangman from suicide. Having understood all, he came back home, but that room was empty. He felt very sad at that moment. That's for you.
두고 간다.
I'm
너 해.
unsure. I don't play it anymore.
형은 저런 거 유치해서 싫어.
You like
너는
these things, don't
좋아하잖아.
you?
유치한 거.
In the end, they really came back. They followed the house rules. The dead are not allowed to tell the living about their identity. They have to wait until the day Sangman discovered all by himself. The photos didn't record their presence, but in every moment in Sangman's life, he always had family members with him. Once being a lonely man, finally Sangman can forget those dark past days. He married the nurse and had babies. They together lived a happy life. Maybe somewhere in this world, your beloved family always secretly helps you in some ways and takes you away from the difficulties in life.